What is going down, faithful? The playoff matchup is set. San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. Ooh, we got another one for this storied rivalry. We're going to react to it. And of course, we're going to react to the Cowboys getting dominated by the Packers early on, having to throw up the white flag. Oh boy, feels good to be a Niner. And the 49ers get ready for the playoffs on Saturday at Levi's Stadium. You guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button. Let's talk some playoff football. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. How are we feeling, ladies and gentlemen? I'm very excited. Shout out to all the SDS popping in the chat. We see you guys. How exciting is this time? Felt like we were just kind of sleepwalking through the last week or so, just waiting patiently, biding our time, waiting to see who the San Francisco 49ers were going to face. And it's going to be the Green Bay Packers. Wow. And not only is it going to be the Green Bay Packers, and we'll get into the Packers in a little bit, but let's talk about the Cowboys. What happened, dude? I mean, let's take it back, right? Week 5, San Francisco 49ers absolutely exposed the Dallas Cowboys. I believe going into that game, kind of the sentiment across the league was the Dallas Cowboys was the team to beat, and the 49ers obliterated them. And then they do what Dallas Cowboys typically do. They beat the bad and mediocre teams as expected in pretty phenomenal fashion. And but whenever it comes to having to face a team in an elimination standpoint, what happened, Cowboys? What happened? Jordan Love went into your home and took what was yours. Unbelievable. Some of you may be noticing I'm not in my office. I am outside. And I figured, why not? Why not? We are, I'm up here in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe. It's my son's 11th birthday. It is our family tradition to go up to Tahoe every year for his birthday. And so for the rest of time, you will see me up in Tahoe, probably streaming, talking about the playoffs, because that's right when it coincides. And as you can see all around me, I just go over here and we Ooh. Okay. Don't eat yellow snow, kids. Not good for you. But I figured let's go outside. Let's go outside and do the stream. Why not? I got this little mobile setup right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Hopefully you can see me. Who knows what technical difficulties will arise here, but hey, that's why we are outside. We're having fun. We're vibing. I live out in Discovery Bay, so anytime you get me outside in the snow, I'm a happy man. This is my element. So being out in the snow, talking 49ers, honestly couldn't get much better. And especially not only talking about the San Francisco 49ers, but we're talking about Dallas Cowboys getting embarrassed. And like I said, we're going to get into the Packers matchup and start to kind of like get our first impression on the Packers. But I just kind of want to live in this moment where, you know, there's a different type. There are different types of rivalries, I would say, in the NFL. Right? You have division rivalries. Everyone has those. Everyone has 4 teams in division, and they're always going to have some form of rivalry within division. Then you have conference rivals, right? And that's where we look at the Dallas Cowboys. And then you just have rivals like that from teams that meet in Super Bowls, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the 49ers and Cowboys are like the best of all of it because we understand the catch, Joe Montana, Dwight Clark, that launched a dynasty, a dynastic run, and it was such a emblematic moment in franchise history because the 49ers couldn't get past the Cowboys. They couldn't get past the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl, and that was like the launching point for the 49ers. And then that rivalry just back and forth for decades. So that's why I think 49er fans, the fan base, relish in, watching the Cowboys' demise. Like we get a kick out of, other teams getting embarrassed or whatever. But there's just something about the Cowboys getting beat down in the playoffs that I think just makes 49er fans happy. And I could be wrong. You can let me know in the chat if you either agree or disagree that just the Cowboys losing just it hits different. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Obviously, I would have enjoyed if they lost at the hands of us. I think a little bit more, but also got to tip our cap to the Green Bay Packers for going into AT&T Stadium and absolutely demolishing. And we got another meme. So far, the 49ers are responsible for 3 of these memes. At the very top, that was this week 5. The two diagonal are from the 2000 and I think it was 2021 wild card matchup. And then this one over here is now the newest one to come into town. And part of it too is like you guys remember when the 49ers beat the Cowboys, Micah Parsons does his podcast thing, and he didn't like the F Dallas shirt that George Kittle wore, and rightfully so. I wouldn't like that if I was a Dallas Cowboy fan or player. But he did say that George is going to regret that. And, laugh now, cry later. It didn't play well for them. Let's take a listen to what Micah Parsons had to say.
He said F Dallas. I just feel like he's making it way more personal than it had to be. Kittle's my guy, but I'm going to say this. Laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You're going to make it personal. We can make it personal. That's cool. George Kittle had 3 times.
Just trust, I guess. Just trust that when the Cowboys get into the playoffs, this is kind of like what it looks like. If we had to visualize it from a different perspective, when the Cowboys get into the playoffs, it's like it's right there. The W's right there, and then oh no, boom, and then they take the fat L. And again, we don't typically dedicate segments on our show to teams losing, but something about Cowboys, they're fans too, they're fans. It's like they ask for it. They walk around, I get it, they're America's team, all that kind of stuff, but imagine having to see this every year in the playoffs. Tough, man. Tough to be a Dallas Cowboys fan right now. That they're infamous for saying it's our year every year, and yet again here we are. You have the Dallas Cowboys cycle. of choking in the playoffs. Just it's crazy because you got pentagons, you got hexagons, you got octagons, and you got the Cowboys season gone. So, I mean, this one's crazy. The Texans have more playoff wins than the Cowboys do since 2020 or 2002, since the Texans came into existence. I would imagine these two their days are numbered with the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, Skip. You got Skip out here just going through it, man. Skip is not a happy camper right now. Hey, and I get it. I wouldn't be too happy either. But tough, man. Tough to be a Cowboy fan. That's why, that's why I'm happy that the 49ers, I mean, the 49ers got to be America's team right now. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will take a Super Bowl win for the 49ers to officially become America's team. For, the future decades. But I think that we're going to have a conversation here if the San Francisco 49ers win a Super Bowl. It should already be a conversation. But 49ers get a ring, we're definitely going to have to talk. So, like I said, I get some enjoyment out of the Cowboys' demise, as I'm sure most 49er fans do. But let's focus on the task at hand, shall we? The San Francisco 49ers are going to be playing the Green Bay Packers. Man, I did not have this on my bingo card. Now, I did put respect on the Cowboys' name. I went on Cron 4 earlier this week and talked about teams that, I probably wouldn't necessarily, it's not that I don't want to face any of these teams, but teams that would cause me to be like, all right, we got a matchup on our hands. I said the Rams and I said the Packers. Those were the two teams that I identified as teams that are, it's going to be, I think, a good matchup between these two. Now, I think the 49ers are better suited to obviously come ahead in this matchup. However, I do think that the way Jordan Love and those young wide receivers and Aaron Jones are playing right now, you got to give them a lot of credit. You got to give them credit for what they're doing. And, it's going to be a big-time matchup for the 49ers defense against this group. Now, again, on paper, you would think that the 49ers absolutely dominate this matchup because you've got guys like Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead will be returning. You've got Javon Hargrave. You've got Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Mooney Ward, Deommodore Lenoir. The list goes on. Tashawn Gibson. The list goes on. But it's going to be I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a battle. Now, obviously, we've thought this before. I think back to the 2019 NFC Championship game. I was there at Levi's Stadium when the San Francisco 49ers absolutely dominated the Green Bay Packers, and that was when Aaron Rodgers was still in town. I thought that was going to be a pretty crazy matchup. I thought it was going to be a lot of back and forth between the two teams, and the 49ers absolutely boat raced them. Absolutely boat raced them. That was the game where Raheem Mostert goes for 220 yards, 4 touchdowns, absolutely dominates. If you guys are keeping, I got one eye one eye on the Bills game. Bills just scored a touchdown. So I got one eye on the Bills game. Bills are up on the Steelers, it looks like. So I just put it on. So we'll see what we get. But the point being of what I was saying was we've thought games were going to be close, and it's been the opposite. But we've also thought games were going to be a blowout, and we've gotten surprised. So I'm kind of in the middle. I think the 49ers are the better team. I think they have the better coaching. I think in every phase, the 49ers should come out on top, but we know what it is. Any given Sunday, the Packers are one of the hottest teams right now heading into the playoffs. I think they've won their in their last 11 games, I believe they have won 8 of them. So they are trending in the right direction. And this Green Bay Packers team, man, they're young. They got nothing to lose. No pressure. They're not supposed to be here. So, all right. I think it's going to be a good matchup. But I am very confident in the 49ers. The offense, I think they're going to have a great day out there. Rested Christian McCaffrey. You got Brock Purdy. You know, we finally heard from Brock Purdy on the game manager system quarterback thing. He went on to the 49ers Talk podcast with Matt Mayoko, and he discussed how that made him feel to be called a system quarterback or a game manager. And Brock does what he does all the time. He's extremely humble. He's very even. He doesn't get too high, too low. He doesn't get upset at things, obviously. And he answered it like a pro per usual. But if you're trying to read between the lines and kind of what he said and how he said it, I do think there's a part of Brock that gets kind of upset about that. Gets kind of maybe not outwardly speaking, and he even kind of referenced that. People can kind of try to assume what I think, and that's what we're doing because I don't expect him to say that all these guys don't know what they're talking about, but that's essentially what he said. He essentially said, if you just watch what we're doing, how we're executing, how I'm executing, I don't know how you could say that, which is the exact same thing that we've been banging the table for all season, is that if you're watching Brock play and you're watching what he's doing, he's not only elevating the scheme, he's elevating the players around him. I mean, Brandon Ayuk went for nearly 1,400 receiving yards this year. George Kittle went for over 1,000 receiving yards from the tight end position, only tight end in the NFL to go for over 1,000 yards. Christian McCaffrey goes for over 2,000 scrimmage yards. And, of course, Deebo Samuel also goes over 1,000 scrimmage yards. So a big part of that is Brock. Yeah, we're going to give all the credit in the world to all those skill players, but it's up to Brock to be able to get the ball into their hands, and people just make it seem like anyone could go out there and do that, including Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons went on to his podcast and said he could play quarterback in the 49ers offense. That's an NFL player, guys. That's one of the best defensive players in the NFL saying that he can play quarterback in the San Francisco 49ers offense, which again diminishes Brock Purdy and what he does and everything that he's capable of. And I don't know. I think deep down there's a bit of a chip. Also, too, when you think about it, Dak Prescott is second team All-Pro quarterback. And when you look at what Brock has done compared to Dak, Brock is better in almost every statistical category. He throws it less than Dak. Like, Dak out here just slinging it. He's just like, F it. CeeDee Lamb's down there somewhere. Brock is surgical. And he doesn't get credit for that. He doesn't get credit for precision. He doesn't get credit for being deadly accurate. Just the ability to pick apart NFL defenses. He doesn't get credit for it because the person who gets credit for it is Kyle Shanahan, or the weapons, or the gravity of Christian McCaffrey. And again, I don't think Brock is going to talk or speak on it all that much, so I will. I'll talk about it. I'll speak about it. I think he's feeling it. I think again, I talk about this from a competitive vantage point. Competitors take slights in a different fashion. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you are like an ultra competitive person, you know, one of the biggest drivers in kind of external motivation are outside sources telling you can't do something. You're not good enough. Oh, it's not because of you. So, and again, I don't think Brock needs any external motivators, but he's got them, and I kind of like it. I like it. He got the accolades with the Pro Bowl, but he got snubbed for the All-Pro, and the All-Pro one I think matters the most. So I'm hyped, man. I can't wait. You know, the preseason playoff game, kind of tough. We got through it. We got to see some young talent get some opportunities, go out there and play. So I'm excited to get back out there on the field. I heard there's potential chances of rain. It's kind of what the early talk is about that particular game, is that there might be some weather involved. So that will be one thing that we have to monitor throughout. But listen, man, 49ers, Packers, to be fair, those are, I think, both two teams that can handle weather. I mean, think back to, was it the divisional round playoff when the 49ers went to Lambeau and they beat the Packers at their home field in that crazy conditions. So these are two teams that are weatherproof. Like, you know, if you're watching, you know, Bills, Steelers, those are two teams that weather, schmether, you know, who cares? I think the 49ers, Packers, going to keep the same energy. Rain, yes, does it impact the game? Of course. But they got this, man. They got it. I did see that Kingsley Enagbare, who's a rotational edge player who's been playing pretty well. He's a guy that I really liked coming out of South Carolina. He is feared to have suffered a torn ACL. So that sounds like the only real major injury to come out of that game for the Packers. But they got a feisty defense. Jair Alexander, that's going to be one that we have to monitor. I know Jair was dealing with an ankle, and I know he got kind of banged up in that game and had to leave the game. So that their star cornerback, that's going to be one that we're going to have to monitor. I think those are the main two. I didn't really see a whole lot after that. But, I mean, it's just absolutely wild in a playoff game that your backup quarterback, your backup DBs and defensive linemen or wide receivers are in the game. like at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Just unbelievable how sad the Cowboys went out. Yeah, they went out sad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know any other way to say it than, I mean, that game probably got McCarthy fired. Like, McCarthy's probably going to get fired because of that game. I don't know if Dak Prescott's going to get a contract extension because of that game. That was a tough one. If you're a Cowboy fan, because there's no we'll get him next year. I think that was it for that group. There's going to be wholesale changes coming for the Dallas Cowboys. So going to be crazy. What other games were going yesterday? Oh, Rams versus Detroit. Detroit wins by 1 point. Man, I mean, I honestly thought that we were going to be playing the Packers or the Rams. That's who I thought. I wanted the Eagles because I wanted the Eagles to come to Santa Clara for my own selfish personal reasons. But I thought it was going to be either the Rams or the Green Bay Packers. And here we are. So Green Bay is going to come in, a lot of energy. Again, different mentality. We talk about mentality a lot. They really don't have much to lose. So that makes them dangerous. But also, too, we know what the 49ers are. They've been in this situation. They're battle-tested. This is another day in the office for the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, the fact that you have Brock Purdy with 2 playoff wins under his belt already in his young career, and then you have some of the extremely high-profile games in which he played this year, and I would say 2 out of the 3, Brock played fantastically. And I think he's going to be looking for some redemption here coming up. Did I see the fumble? I saw it just now. Pickens looks like he dropped it. Did they call that a fumble, though? Jeffrey says, wouldn't even be having this convo had Purdy not gotten injured. Honestly, last year did feel like that the 49ers were going to go all the way for sure. And again, it's crazy how just one string of events can completely change the dynamic and everything for a team moving forward. So it's crazy, man. Ooh, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. No knee, no forearm, no butt. That's a fumble. That looked like a fumble to me. I expect the Bills to win that game. I expected them to win before it got to here. You know, Pittsburgh is extremely lucky to be in the playoffs to begin with, considering how their season has gone, going through 3 different quarterbacks. Just a lot of turmoil, it feels like, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for them to be in this position, good for them. But am I in Buffalo right now? I could be. I definitely could be. Feels like I am. But I'm excited about what we got cooking. Excited about the matchup. It's a good one, man. It's a good one. All right. So my battery's at about 9%. I don't have an extension cord running out here. I don't have that fancy of a setup. Hopefully the audio is okay. And you guys could hear me all right. And you could see me all right. All that stuff. We got super chat. And they say, I know it's early, but score predictions. Ooh. Score predictions. I'm on this trend that if I feel like a game could go either way, I typically go like a 7 to 10 point differential. Keep it kind of close. And the 49ers have typically blown out the teams in that scenario. Man, if I had to give a score prediction, weather could be a factor. We'll see. My way too early. I'm going 27-24. 49ers win. No. 31-24. 49ers win. 49ers get into the 30s. Yeah, I'm going to go 31-24 for that one. We'll see if that changes for me. We'll see if that changes as the week progresses. I think it will. But I do think that the 49ers offense will continue to pile up. I see that you guys got touchdown Bills in the chat. What a strike. Is that Doc? Oh, that's Kincaid. Kincaid and Knox. Yeah, the Steelers getting cooked, unfortunately. Propa, appreciate the super chat. Says, are you concerned about the rain? Feels like weather can close the talent gap between teams sometimes. Yeah, I would say the only concern that I really had about the 49ers offense came in a game that involved rain. So the Browns game was the only game that actually caused me to have a little bit of concern. Just because it felt like Brock was really struggling to grip the ball, and it was affecting his accuracy, his ball placement, and all those different types of things. And even still, he put the 49ers in a position to win that game at the end. I think it might just level the playing field a little bit more. Just might level the playing field a little bit more. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if we see some of those same issues with kind of being able to rip it and grip it and that those types of things. I think if you ask the fan base, this is kind of like I've seen the content and like a big talking points is Moody. But to be honest, if the 49ers offense is doing their job, they're moving up and down the field, they're scoring 30 plus points, Moody isn't going to be an issue at all. I think the only issue arises if the 49ers offense just can't move the ball and they can't score. And you get into like a kicking shootout. But even in regards to that, I'm really hoping that Moody will come through in the playoffs. He was pretty good all year. If we really want to take a look at the body of work, it was just that Browns game and that game there at the end. Other than that, he played well this year. So we'll see. we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get out of here for now. This is going to be my backdrop for the rest of the week. For the most part, I could be moving in and out of the house. We'll see. But shout out to all you guys for tapping in. Really excited about this week and really excited about some 49ers football coming up here. Another like notch in that Green Bay Packers 49ers rivalry. Can't wait. Appreciate all you guys. Y'all the best. Grab your cookies on the way out. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to